Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we are in for a little moon lore or moon lesson. I am so tickled by this little bit of information that I found, and I think I'm gonna probably add a little bit more moon lessons into our Monday moon days because last year I focused a whole lot on designing our moon garden, which it's all designed. It's like a little tiny garden. So this year we will plant it out again, and we will do tours of it as it progresses through the season. We're certainly going to be adding more white and variegated plants along the edges of all the gardens, because my ultimate goal is to walk through my entire garden underneath the full moon and be able to navigate it without any other source of light other than the moon, right? So I want to be able to see all my pathways and everything like that. But in the meantime, what am I going to talk about every single Monday, right? Every 2 weeks, I talk about gardening by the moon and the tasks that you're going to look at doing over the different moon phases for the following 2 weeks, which is a really great thing to take a look at. Today is April Fool's, and I found a really fun thing about April Fool's in connection to the moon, and I wanted to share it with you all. So before we had calendars, or even before the Gregorian calendars in the 1500s, when all of Europe switched over from the Julian or Hindu calendar over to the Gregorian calendar, and prior to that, we relied on the seasons to tell us when different things were happening, right? So it stands to reason, before there was any kind of a calendar and we were watching the stars and we were paying attention to the earth and what was happening, that spring would be our new year, because everything is new. Everything's beginning again. Everything has started over. The leaves on the trees are coming out. The daffodils are blowing. Everything is new again, right? In the spring. So people would celebrate spring from, or the new year, the beginning again, the last week of March through the first week of April, and they would celebrate by being super joyful. So there'd be parades and just like a bunch of happy, silly things happening. And then when the Gregorian calendar, it was introduced in France in 1563 and then adopted in, by law in 1582. And so they began celebrating their new year on January 1st, like we do today, because we are all on the Gregorian calendar today. And it just makes so much more sense to me that the new year would be spring equinox, not in the middle of winter when everything was dormant and nothing new was happening. So that is how the history of the Gregorian calendar. But April Fool's comes into play because the farmers, who were so used to planting their crops and planning their lives according to the seasons, they continued just to celebrate their new year in March and April. And many other like countryside towns and villages continue to celebrate the new year the first part of April. And so the elitists and the city folk and the people who were, in the know, they were celebrating New Year's on January 1st. And so according to the Gregorian calendar, right? So they would play tricks and call those people that weren't following the Gregorian calendar April Fools, and as if they were foolish people, when in fact, thinking about it, aren't we all just silly fools? that's just the lesson that I wanted to share with all of you. I thought it was really interesting, and it is in connection with the moon because the moon cycles through the seasons along with the sun, and because of the position of the moon and the sun in the sky, that is what catapults all of our earthly seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter, etc. So, and it's not even like we would be celebrating January, like I'm in the northern hemisphere, right? So if I were to celebrate spring according to like the southern hemisphere, I still wouldn't be doing it on January 1st. Their springs are like our falls. So I don't know where January 1st came up. Like, even astrologically speaking, the first sign of the year is in April. So where did January 1st come from? Who thought that up? Maybe that'll be another lesson. But for today, this is not an April Fool's joke. It's real. I'll link an article below, and I encourage you to do your own research. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope you're celebrating your life and maybe playing a little prank on someone, so long as it's not harmful and you're having a lot of fun today. We will see you in the next video. Bye.